there, it's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice, looks like psychosis. Life on relationship low, what's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice, looks like psychosis. We live on relationship road.
It's Thursday morning and Sally is preparing to head into the office to meet her new potential client, Joanna. Colin has decided to go into work as he can't face being at home while Sally is getting prepared. But all that Colin can think about is the meeting that Sally is due to have with Joanna. Over and over he repeats the same questions in his head. What will Joanna say? Will she tell Sally about their one night together? Will she tell Sally about their private lunches? Not that there's anything wrong in that. He justifies to himself. But I told Sally that I don't know anyone called Joanna, so how could I have been having innocent lunches with her? I wish I'd never met that woman. I wish I hadn't lied to Sally. I wish I'd never slept with Joanna. When Colin arrives at his office, there are only 2 people present, so he doesn't have to engage with anyone in particular. Thursday isn't one of Joanna's days, so he doesn't have to worry about that either. Although on the flip side, he realises it leaves her free to meet with Sally. Colin tries to lose himself in his work. He makes some phone calls, produces a report that his boss has been waiting for, and generally tries to take his mind away from what might have been going on in the office where his wife works. In the meantime, Sally gets her sketches in order to show her new potential client and sorts out a few portfolios with before and after photographs of the transformation she has made in different types of houses. At exactly 10 o'clock, a tall and glamorous young woman appears at her office door. "I'm Joanna," she announces, oozing with confidence. Sally takes an immediate dislike to this young woman, but she remains professional and she is certain that her face doesn't show her true thoughts. It's extremely rare for Sally not to like someone, so this is a strange experience for her. Without waiting for Sally to explain what she does and how she works, Joanna launches into a description of her house and the work that is being carried out, and what she hopes Sally will be able to do for her to complete the project. Sally feels as though this meeting is not running as smoothly as usual, and so she attempts to regain some control of the conversation, which is in her office after all, she reasons. She shows Joanna just one of her portfolios as she tries to gauge the young woman's reaction to her work. However, Joanna doesn't seem at all interested in what Sally has to show her, and so Sally asks a few deeper questions about what she might be looking for. That's very odd, thinks Sally to herself. Despite her apparent confidence, this woman doesn't seem to have any real idea at all. She doesn't even have a clue about what colours she might like. There's something very odd about this person. Sally is about to ask another question when Joanna abruptly gets up and says that she has to leave and will be in touch. Sally opens the door of her office and escorts her client to the main front door. She can't help noticing the flashy smile Joanna gives to the 2 guys who own the design studio. They specialise in commercial spaces and are happy for Sally to rent an office space from them and work for herself on domestic projects. The 3 of them are all on good terms with each other. It's a good arrangement, and Sally has been able to put work their way as a result of contacts she has made and vice versa. "Wow, who was that sassy lady?" asks Stephen, sounding impressed after the front door has been closed. "Oh, just a potential new client," answers Sally dryly. "Though I get the impression that she won't hire me. I'm not even sure if she really is having work done in her house. There's something about her that doesn't feel right." "Well, I didn't think much about her when she arrived asking for you," says Mark, always the more grounded of the 2 men and the least impressionable. In fact, she pretty much demanded to speak to you. I thought she was rather rude, in fact. She won't be any loss if you don't get her. You two are being real mean, teases Stephen. I mean, did you see those? Be careful about what you say next, interjects Sally, the heat rising in her face. I was going to say, did you see those eyes? Laughs Stephen. I mean, she was practically asking me on a date with them. Well, it's a good thing you aren't available then, isn't it? Retorts Mark. I don't think Cerise would see things that way. Time for a coffee, I think, says Sally diplomatically. I'll pop next door and get some biscuits while you put the kettle on, Stephen. Just as Sally opens the door, she sees Joanna drive away in a rather dated small car. Not what I would have expected given the story that she was telling me, thinks Sally. Mark's right, she wouldn't be any loss. She seems like trouble to me. In number 8, Jerry has finally been able to move back into the bedroom with Shona, and the whole family seems to have sighed with relief at things being back to normal. Jerry had to have the COVID-19 test as his colleague had been found to be positive. But luckily, Jerry has not been infected. Now he and Shona are chatting in bed, just as they used to. All that time in the girls' bedroom for nothing, Shona says wearily. Still, I suppose we had to play it safe, just in case you had been infected. I hope we don't have to go through that again. I hope that your factory has got measures in place to prevent this from happening a second time. I don't know about that. Jerry sounds resigned. They do their best, but you know they can't police people all the time. And some of the staff are sitting together at lunch with no social distancing at all. And then others travel in the same car with their mates to get to work. What can they do? Without a lift, some of these guys can't get there. And so, even though they don't all work on the same production line, they may be spreading the virus if any one of them has it. I just don't see what the company can do about those kind of arrangements. Well, I think they should be testing everyone on a regular basis, replies Shona defiantly. She's still angry that they had to manage 2 weeks with Jerry in quarantine for no reason. Not that she isn't grateful that there isn't a reason, but she also knows that this could happen again. I know, love, says Jerry sympathetically. It was no picnic for me either. But the firm couldn't possibly afford to test people all the time. And we just have to rely on the honesty of people to stay away if they feel unwell or have any of the coronavirus symptoms. Trust the honesty of the people you work with? I don't think so, says Shona rather uncharitably. Then seeing Jerry's face, she quickly adds, but I know they're not all like that. I just worry about the ones that are selfish and will come to work anyway, regardless of symptoms. And you have to admit that there are a few of those there. And I bet you anything that most of them who car share don't wear masks when they are travelling together. Then, tactfully changing the subject, Jerry says, I know, but enough talking about work. I have 2 full days off before I have to return. So if the weather holds up, I thought we could take the girls out tomorrow. Maybe to the woods or to the beach. What do you think? I think it would be a great idea, but let's not say anything to them. I don't want to disappoint them if we can't go. It'll be a nice surprise for them if it doesn't rain. I'll make up a picnic for us to take so that we can avoid too much contact with other people. And with that, Shona happily begins to plan what she will take for her long overdue day out. She falls asleep before the plan is complete. The next day, the weather looks promising, and so with great excitement, the girls pile into the back of the car and the family sets off on their small adventure. It's not a long journey to the seaside, but Shona keeps the girls amused with games like spotting different coloured cars, or looking for certain number plates, or horses in fields, or coloured doors on houses, and of course, I Spy. When they arrive at the beach, however, it looks really crowded. "What are we going to do now?" asks Shauna of Jerry. They look at the girls, who are really excited, and neither of the parents can bear to disappoint the children. "Let's just walk down a bit further and see if we can't find a space without too many people," suggests Jerry. They all head off looking for a space, but it seems hopeless. They finally find a small place, but Shauna feels that it's too close to other people. Shauna says to the girls, "You can head into the sea straight away, and then we'll wrap you up in towels and we'll go inland to the lakes, where there will be much more space, but at least you will have been in the sea." The girls don't need telling twice, and they both make a rush for the water, and before long they are splashing about and having fun. Shauna watches carefully. How can you expect children to stay away from other children, she thinks desperately. She knows she will have to face these fears again when the girls are back at school, but for now she will do everything she can to protect them. Thank heavens they have each other, she thinks yet again. After about an hour, the family sets off again, and fortunately this time they are able to find a pretty spot by a loch with a small beach area. There are only 3 other cars there, so at long last Shauna feels she's able to relax. The girls have just as much fun and the picnic is a great success. Time enough to worry about risks and the virus when the girls return to school in a few weeks, thinks Shauna. Right now I'm going to enjoy and appreciate the company of my family. She reminds herself that it's always the little things that make life good. If you have something you would like to share or a concern you would like addressed, please send it in and we will try and incorporate it into the future storylines. Tune in again for the next episode of Relationship Road.
Welcome to Relationship Road, where people live just like me and you, alone or together in all kinds of weather, and most of them are scared of this flu. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. What kind of neighbor am I? Am I doing my bit for the road? My parents are elderly, my children disorderly, the whole world is suddenly slow. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. And if you need me, let me know, and I will be the first to show. What's going on over there? It's none of my business, I know, but I couldn't help but notice it looks like psychosis. The pressure's starting to show. The future, well, nobody knows, but we'll do our best till then, I suppose.